Hey, what's going on everybody? In this video I want to talk about the common mistakes that carry do under 5k MMR. Now let's go ahead and see one by one. You may think you might be a better carry, but end up being you realizing how much worse you are. Like once you see this, you will realize how many mistakes you are making. Sometimes it's blind spot, you don't even realize that one. Now let's go and see one by one. The first thing is hitting the offlaner next to his creeps. People try to get the first kills. When you carry, you rush in to get the first kill. That end up being worse for you, while you have waited for the right moment. And just be the patient, like Yoda says, just be patient and wait for the right moment, and just a little jump, you should have got that kill easily. That's the first thing. And second thing is never helping your support trying to harass your enemy all the time, but you end up farming. You just focus on farming, but you never help your support to kill the enemies. But if you help with the support, you should end up getting kills. That's really good for you. So help your support. That's second thing. And the next thing is using creep aggro. I see a lot of people don't use creep aggro. It's time to learn it. If you don't learn it, it's not going to help. So learn to use your creep aggro. And the next thing is punish the offlaner. Try to be some people are aggressive, but some people are like peaceful with the enemy. But try to be aggressive. Try to be aggressive. And pushing and pulling strat. People just focus on the lanes, but while they should have just pushed the camp to their creeps, so they end up being not only earning extra XPs, they prevent the enemy from getting XPs as well. Like once you pull your creep to the enemy, like your camps near to that, like this, you will end up earning like a lot of experience, and you prevent enemy from getting those experience. That's another common mistake. People don't do that, but you better learn to do that. So you learn to get a lot of experience. That's another thing. And never carrying a TP. It's kind of stupid. Like you should like, let's say your team is having a multiple lane is pushed up, and people are calling you for help, and you don't have a TP. You have to walk all the way there. That's kind of stupid. So carry TP all the time, so it will serve your time. And the next thing is wasting time to wait for creeps. While you're waiting for the creeps to come, you should have just go to the jungle and farmed a little bit. But people just wait for the creeps. And also going to rune, wait for the rune. It's not worth the time. So try to gain XP and not playing aggressive. You should play aggressive. Like when you are in Dota, if you don't play aggressive, enemy will punish you. So try to be aggressive as much as possible. You have to be very aggressive, because nowadays people are. And the next thing is Denny creeps under his towers. When you see your creeps are under his tower, you don't even go and denny the tower, but don't miss those creeps as well. Like just go and denny the creeps and play safe. Most people, if your team is losing, you better be playing safe, because your team already fed too much. So you better not make it even harder by feeding them. And that's another common mistake. And the next thing is not using your skills to CS. For creep kills, you better use your abilities, like your skills, to get those. It's worth it. Some people think it's not worth it, but it's actually worth it. And the next thing is buying regen. Like when you are low health, you like once the regen is finished, like once you finish all your regen and all these things, you better buy those things. And then the next thing is farming camps, not creep wave. Creep wave gives a lot of experience than camps. If you farm camps, you don't get it. But while your creep waves are there, while enemy creep waves are there, you don't you taking farms. And the next thing is not taking objectives. You have to learn to take objectives when you're in Dota. Dota is a really tough game, man. And also the another thing is not carrying TP while you're pushing. When you're pushing, you have to, because let's say you have, like your team is 4 pushing in another lane, you don't show yourself, so you need to carry a TP and show yourself in other lanes. So like when the enemy is your team is pushing as 4, show yourself there. Don't be alone in a lane. That's another thing. And the next thing is not having map awareness. That's another thing. That's another mistake I see. And the next thing is never hide under the trees. Okay, now like you don't want to you think you don't want to show in the map, but it's kind of stupid to hide under the trees. They're going to find you anyway. That's another common mistake we see. And the next thing is not buying BKB. Like let's say you are in a situation you have to buy a BKB, but you don't buy that, you buy something else instead of that, and you should have bought that and prevent from dying or going to fights and something like that. Like not buying BKB do a lot of damages to your team. And the next thing is buying the same build every game. You have to, there's the items called situational items, like based on the opposite hero. Let's say your opposite is Klings, you have to buy a lot of armors and all the stuff, and the Slaughter, you have to buy armor. But you buying the same build every time, like not thinking about anything, that's even end up losing your game. You end up losing your game. And buying damage items when you don't need it, like you have enough damage and you still buy another damage item, so it's kind of stupid. Like you should have bought something to to survivability. You should have bought something like that, but you always maxing your damage, but you don't spend on survivability. And not getting clarity is another thing. Not getting clarity, like it's just cost $100, 100 coins, but you don't. And the next thing is Roshan. It seems like when Ursa is the only hero that thinks about Roshan all the time. Other than that, you don't even think about Roshan. Roshan is, you should think about Roshan all the time. Even when you are playing other carry heroes, you should get the Roshan. And the other mistake is ratting. Ratting, I seen a lot of game, man. I am in the situation like I should have won a lot of games, but somebody ratted, and they won the easy game for us because they're ratting. So when you're losing, think about ratting. Sometimes people even try to complain you, but still worth it. You're gonna win. And going back to farm, not taking objectives, that's kind of not taking objectives. Like while your team is doing, you should do that as well. And don't go and try to run before the enemy respawn. Like once you're getting kills, you just go like somebody, like once the 4 heroes are getting killed, just going to the base is a bad idea. You should stay until you can even go to jungle if you want, but don't go to base. And not farming the enemy jungle. When the enemy is farming your jungle, you don't even go to their jungle because you are afraid. Carry a TP and go farm their jungle. I will even ask you to only do that carrying TP. Take advantage of their jungle. And the next thing is prioritizing kills. Like you focus on tank. I see a lot of times like people focus on axe and what is another hero. Another hero, man. That's a split this thing. I don't even remember. So the tanky heroes, if you focus on tanky heroes, not only you get killed, but you also lose the other sniper and all those small heroes. Some of them even have 800 HP. You should have killed them in one shot. And other thing is cutting creep wave. Cutting creep wave is another thing. And that's all. That's all the common mistake that carry do under 5k MMR, man. If you correct these things, you will be a better carry. And that's all. See you guys on my next video.